was the most beautiful girl in the crowd. She attracted the attention of many men. This boy saw her for the
first time. He was captivated by her beauty. His friends had to call out to him before he came to his senses. Mike knew he had fallen for her, but his inner inferiority prevented him from approaching her. On the way back, their car broke down and got stuck on the road. Mike apologized to the cars behind them, but he didn't get any understanding from the rich kids. Instead, they mocked him for driving a junk car. Jody couldn't stand her friend's mockery. She got out of the car and helped Mike push it to the side of the road. Compared to those rich kids, Jody liked Mike better. She wanted to have more interactions with Mike, but Mike asked her to leave.
It's alright, you don't have to wait around.
Hey.
Mike didn't understand her feelings, but she became even more interested in this boy. To befriend Mike, Jody deliberately damaged her own car, and asked him to repair it. Mike immediately realized she had done it on purpose, but he didn't expose her. Soon the car was fixed. To thank Jody for asking him out,
Meet me at Squeals, Saturday night at 6. Is that yes?
Yeah.
Mike was in a good mood on the way home. He knew his love was coming, but as soon as he got home, his father told him to go with him to deliver goods the next day. But the next day was the date, so he refused. His father slapped him across the face. Everyone around him was used to this. His father had always been very strict with Mike since he was a child. This was the main reason for his inferiority complex. But this time he chose to resist, because he didn't want to give up his happiness. He chose to run away from home to gain freedom. When he had nowhere to go, he broke into a garage to shelter from the heavy rain. The next morning, when he woke up, the owner of the house mistook him for a thief. After Mike explained his situation, the kind-hearted old man decided to take him in.
After a plane crash, 6 people fell into the ocean and were trapped for 3 days and 3 nights. But just as they finally spotted the rescue team, everyone screamed, begging the rescuers not to come any closer. The sharks slaughtered the rescuers. The survivors inside were shaking with fear. They looked out through the window and discovered in horror that all that remained was a severed leg. Although the rescuers failed to save them, the oxygen tanks they carried were their only hope of survival. One woman bravely entered the water. She needed to confirm whether the rescuers were inside the cabin, but the murky seawater reduced visibility to 0. Gathering her courage, she boldly looked forward this time. She confirmed that the diver was inside the cabin, but just as she shared the good news, her boyfriend lost control and fell into the water. Everyone rushed to pull him out, but the huge commotion had already attracted the sharks.
You got it! You did it! It's gonna work. Hurry, your drone! Get the drone!
Sunrise, the hunters suddenly stop, not because they're tired, not because they gave up, but because the clock ran out.
Take my hand. Sunrise. The hunt's over. Good show, Mr. Tynes. Very good show.
You see, this man signed up for the most dangerous game ever created. He's the only target. 5 professional killers are hunting him somewhere in the city. If he survives 24 hours, he wins $100 million. But if he dies, game over. Not long ago, he was just a regular guy. 9 to 5 job, newly married. Life was normal, until one day, he collapses in the street. At the hospital, doctors drop a bombshell. He has a brain tumor, and at best, he's got 1 month to live. That news destroys him. His wife is pregnant. They just started their life together. If he dies, what happens to them? How do they survive? Lost and desperate, he remembers something a Foundation director once told him about a game. Survive 24 hours while being hunted, and you win $100 million. Thinking about his unborn child, he makes a choice. He'll risk everything. The next morning, he meets the director at a coffee shop, and just like that, the game begins. Here are the rules. Every hour, his location is revealed. 5 hidden assassins are tracking him. He can only stay inside city limits. Step outside the boundary, and the game ends. So he runs, he hides, he blends in. And the scariest part? The killers are already around him. He starts avoiding everyone. Every stranger feels like a threat, but it doesn't take long. One of the hunters finds him in a bathroom. From that moment on, he adapts. He learns to blend in. He hides inside a crowd of sports fans. He even climbs into a car trunk just to escape. 12 hours pass, halfway there, but something feels off. He's exhausted. He's pushed his body to the limit. Yet his symptoms never show up, so he rushes back to the hospital for another scan. And that's when he finds out he was never sick. No tumor, no diagnosis. It was all a lie. He's been set up. He tries to quit, but now it's too late because the mastermind behind the game has kidnapped his wife. And here's the twist. The organizer only gets paid if the target dies, which means they want him dead. That's when something changes. He stops running. He starts fighting back. He begins exposing his own location on purpose. Using his knowledge of the city, he sets traps. One by one, he takes the hunters down. The prey becomes the predator. And just when all hope seems lost, a miracle happens.
The woman was taking a bath and realized that the clear water turned black when it touched her skin, because she was born with a special ability. Whenever she touches someone, she takes away all their fear and pain. A homeless man freezing in the cold. After she touched him, he could immediately fall asleep peacefully. Even a heartbroken girl crying alone at night. Once she touched her, she forgot the pain and returned to calm. But there was a downside after she did this. Daisy had to wash herself with clean water to cleanse the pain from inside her body. And if she helped too many people in a single day, she would need to take a full shower, because if the pain piled up too much, she would suffer backlash. That day, Daisy was just tying her shoes in the corner. When she looked up, she noticed a mysterious woman. There seemed to be no emotion in her eyes. She walked straight toward a deserted place. When no one else was around, she squatted down on the ground. Then she pulled a family photo out of her bag. She looked at it with longing. Then she was ready to make sure she didn't see the sun tomorrow. At that moment, Daisy walked toward her and touched her cheek with her hand. All the pain from the woman's memories was absorbed by Daisy. When the woman opened her eyes again, she realized her painful memories were gone. She was shocked. As Daisy was about to leave, the woman handed her a business card and told her to call if she ever needed help. Right after absorbing the pain, Daisy was walking weakly through an alley. At that moment, a man passed by and tried to harass Daisy. But as soon as he touched her, his pain instantly flooded into Daisy's mind. Luckily, Daisy managed to break free, but her body was completely exhausted. She could barely keep her balance while walking. Unfortunately, her condition caught the attention of a thug named Dick. She struggled to make it back home. The pain was still echoing in her mind. She forced her body to crawl toward the bathroom. Black water kept spilling out of her mouth. She struggled to reach the bathtub. With the last bit of strength left in her, she turned on the faucet, ready to wash the pain away. The splashing water turned into black ink. Daisy slowly slipped into unconsciousness. But just then, those thugs broke in. They wanted to figure out why Daisy was so strange. They searched the place for her. One stuttering boy found Daisy unconscious. He felt pity for her, so he quietly placed her hand into the tub. He covered for her and told Dick they hadn't found her. But Dick wasn't satisfied. He and his buddies started wrecking Daisy's home. The next day, when Daisy woke up, she found her home in ruins. She realized she could no longer stay there, so she quietly avoided Dick and his gang and went to the cat shelter she often visited. She hoped she could stay for the night, but after knocking and calling out for a while, there was no response. With nowhere else to go, she remembered that business card. She made a call for help. When she arrived at the woman's house, the woman was overjoyed. Daisy felt a peace she had never known. It was as if she belonged there. Meanwhile, the woman's son also felt something strange. It was like Daisy had a force pulling him in. He looked around and his eyes locked with Daisy's. A heavy, suppressed emotion rose between them. Jeff walked up to Daisy. Even though he started stuttering, it didn't stop his actions. He even shoved sushi directly into Daisy's mouth, and as he apologized, he unconsciously grabbed Daisy's hand. The moment their hands clasped tightly, both of their hearts became calm. Just then, the woman came in with a friend. She hoped Daisy could help her too. To avoid disturbing the party, they went into a room. The woman's friend had lost her child and had been living in pain ever since. Daisy agreed to help her. She slowly approached the woman. When her hand touched the woman,
a group of aliens tried to lift up a beautiful woman. They slowly flipped her over into a face-down position. That's when the woman's daughter caught sight of everything, but she didn't rush in to save her mother. Instead, she pulled out her phone and recorded the whole scene. But suddenly, her phone rang. The noise alerted the aliens. They immediately lunged straight at her. The next second, the woman woke up from her sleep. Everything around her looked perfectly normal. She thought it had all been a dream, but when Lucy checked the video on her phone, she discovered that what she saw was actually real. To make matters worse, Lucy realized that one of the aliens from earlier seemed to have entered her body. To find out whether she'd been harmed, Lucy went to the hospital to get checked out. However, the doctor suddenly strapped down her arms and legs. Then, Lucy began floating up uncontrollably. That's when a doctor pulled out a syringe, planning to extract some kind of essence from Lucy's body. At the critical moment, a man burst through the door.
Subscribe.
After a fierce struggle, it turned out that these doctors were all aliens in disguise. After successfully rescuing Lucy, the man drove off with her, heading for the base. Along the way, Lucy noticed that Jack had a wound on his abdomen. She immediately grabbed some tissues to stop the bleeding. The two of them made it safely to an open field. Suddenly, a swarm of bees surrounded Lucy. When Jack saw this, he dropped to his knees right away, because the bees' unusual behavior proved that Lucy was the reincarnation of the alien queen. To convince her that all of this was real, a handmaiden demonstrated an alien technology that could preserve eternal youth. The handmaiden simply soaked herself in the water for 3 minutes, and when she came out, she looked 30 years younger in an instant. Then, a prince stepped forward and proposed to Lucy on the spot. When she saw him pull out a diamond ring weighing a whole kilogram, Lucy's heart fluttered and she said yes. Before long, Lucy appeared at the wedding dressed in a bridal gown. But just as they were about to seal the deal, Lucy suddenly had second thoughts. Deep down, the one she truly loved was Jack. So she took the initiative and confessed her love to Jack. And in the end, the two of them lived happily ever after. To boost the productivity of the inmates, the prison arranged for attractive women to wash cars there every day. Out in